Hello guys, back again with the El Rasta channel, and this time as always we will be back to talk about the best Donghua series, and of course, it is SwallowedStar. In the previous episode we saw Luo Feng, who faced several strong opponents in the Genius Fighting Tournament. Among them are Gai Si Li, who has a high level of Genjutsu ability, and also Ai Chen, who can stop time. Despite being made difficult by these strong opponents, in the end, Luo Feng was able to win. But the next opponent he had to face was a very solid wall. The figure who dominated the most and was counted on by the audience was the one who would be the champion in this genius battle. Okay, then without further delay, we will go straight to the storyline. The semi-final round of the Genius Battle Tournament finally began, starting with Luo Feng, who would face off against a super tough opponent, Bolan. At the beginning of the battle, Luo Feng chose to launch an attack first. He used a combination attack of Yanshin's flying knife and a melee sword slash. However, Bolan could ward off his attack so easily. Not finished just yet, Luo Feng then formed a second mode Yanshen weapon, piercing sword, and hit him with a Yanshen staff to increase his strength. But suddenly, Bolan instantly disappeared, moving next to Luo Feng to land a hard kick on him. Although Luo Feng had changed some of his attack methods, Bolan had a way to make Luo Feng's attacks ineffective on him. Luo Feng then applied another method. With his mental strength, he clamped Bolan's body with a large building, bound him with rattan-rubbed cloud, and released Yanshin's flying sword at him. But again, that method was still unsuccessful in dealing damage. Bolan stopped Luo Feng's flying sword, as if his body was now protected by a very thin but very strong golden barrier. After feeling some of Luo Feng's attacks, Bolan felt like he was going to end the fight because that was the extent of Luo Feng's abilities that he couldn't get interested in at all. Counterattacking, Bolan first destroyed all the illusory bodies created by Luo Feng. Such a brutal force was completely unstoppable. Even for Luo Feng, a single sword slash unleashed by Bolan could pierce through the illusory body and knock Luo Feng's real body so far away. That attack dealt him a huge amount of damage. Bolan's previous fighting opponents had been knocked out with just that one slash, but it seemed like Luo Feng was a bit more durable as he was still able to get back up, despite being battered. From this, Luo Feng realized that Bolan had deliberately lunged at his attacks earlier because the man believed that those attacks posed no threat at all. And when knowing that the opponent couldn't pose a threat, his mind would be drawn to the outside world without regard to what was currently in front of him. That was why Luo Feng made sure that the next move Luo Feng would show would pose a threat, so Bolan didn't just ignore it. Seeing Luo Feng, who was back on his feet, made Bolan smile a little. He was starting to get a little interested in fighting with MC. Luo Feng this time threw several large buildings at the opponent, while forming several illusionary bodies. And when the opponent split one of the large buildings into two parts, Luo Feng sent several of his illusionary bodies to stop his movement. Luo Feng then used hundreds of rattan-rubbed cloud to crush Bolan's body by utilizing the building that was split into two, as well as using several other buildings around him. Of course, as before, Bolan could destroy such a trap easily. But this time, Luo Feng seized the moment that came to narrow the distance, held the opponent's sword, and released the Pulse Soul Seal. Luo Feng mentally attacked Bolan to stop his movement for a moment, to create an opening to land an attack. Well, that way, Luo Feng managed to land an attack that caused Bolan to be thrown away. But was that attack enough to defeat the future champion? In fact, no. Bolan showed himself again, and this time he changed the shape of his sword into a scythe, counterattacking, which MC was completely unable to avoid. And sure enough, guys, Luo Feng was defeated by Bolan, aka the God of Death. It was unfortunate, but almost everyone had predicted that Bolan would indeed win in the fight. On the other hand, Jiang Tianchen said with his abilities, Bolan had a myriad of ways to be able to win in the fight against Luo Feng, and the one he had just shown was only one of 1,000 ways he had. Luo Feng still didn't pose much of a threat to the strongman. Well, but for Bolan personally, the fight just now was enough to increase his experience, and he would not forget the fight with Luo Feng at that time. After losing to Bolan, Luo Feng was now stuck in the top 4, so in the near future it seemed rather difficult for Luo Feng to enter the primal secret realm. Nevertheless, Babata thought that Luo Feng had done his best. Since Bolan had already gotten one nomination to enter the primal secret realm that could only be obtained by the first and second rankers, the next one who could get the other nomination was between Long Yun and Wuka, who were dueling. The battle between the warrior geniuses had been going on for quite some time. The terrain of the battle area also looked badly destroyed. It was difficult to determine which of the two could win. Previously, Babata had told Luo Feng that the Manka clan was one of the peak human bloodline races in the universe, and Wuka, as one of the clans, possessed very strong strength, as could be seen from the ongoing battle. On the other hand, Luo Feng himself felt quite amazed by Long Yun. In the previous session's exam, this person was not very prominent, very low profile, but no one thought that Long Yun was able to reach the top 4. If Luo Feng had the opportunity to have a one-on-one match between the two, Luo Feng wasn't even 100% confident of winning. The long battle between Long Yun and Wuka came to an end when both of them exerted their remaining strength in a violent collision that ended with both of them losing. Although Wuka was slightly stronger, no one in the audience could judge who won between the two. Some thought Long Yun had won, and others thought the opposite. Changbo said, because the two of them fought for quite a long time, causing the two of them to lose together. In previous genius battles, there were almost no such incidents. Even now he couldn't judge who should be declared the winner, so the result would be determined by Venerable Nine Swords. In the lobby area, in front of Long Yun and Wuka's audience, Venerable Nine Swords said that Wuka and Long Yun's win rate graphs were both at 50%. Their overall skills were almost equal. In addition, both of them also lost combat power at the end of the fight. Therefore, as a representative of the Virtual Universe Company, Venerable Nine Swords announced that the result of Long Yun and Wuka's battle would be declared a draw. Many viewers did not like the decision, which Wuka should have won. But of course, there was nothing the crowd could do about it. Due to the tie, the fighter who deserved the second nomination to enter the Primal Secret Realm would be determined through an additional match. Wuka, Long Yun, and Luo Feng, who were now in the top 4, would fight one-on-one. There were 2 rounds of combat. The first round was Luo Feng versus Wuka, and in the second round, the winner of the first round will fight Long Yun. Those who won would be ranked second. Gai Si Li said that Luo Feng was very lucky. Well, Luo Feng was indeed very lucky because he unexpectedly got a second chance. Before entering the fight, for now what Luo Feng knew of his opponent was that Wuka was very proficient in flame-type origin law comprehension. Babata said that Wuka's talent was created by genetic changes from her previous generation's fighting experience. Although the number of surviving Manka clans was not too many, they could maintain their position as rulers of the Universe Kingdom. This Manka clan relied heavily on high destructive power, and as a person who came from the royal family who had the responsibility to defend the Universe Kingdom, Wuka naturally received harsher and more extreme training than ordinary people, having the responsibility to protect her clan and kingdom. Usually such a figure craved victory. Luo Feng felt that the next battle would be fierce. Until finally, in the first round, Luo Feng fought Wuka. Before the fight started, Wuka said that she was honored to be able to fight with Luo Feng. But unfortunately, since the resources within the Primal Secret Realm were needed by her kingdom, she would win no matter what. To Luo Feng, the situation between the two of them was very similar, so there was no reason for him to back down in the fight. And without lingering, the fierce battle between the two began. Wuka's thunderous flame power was able to make all of Luo Feng's attacks successfully broken. Starting from the selection of attack paths and the time to attack, Wuka could predict very well. The two also had very different fighting styles. Luo Feng utilized speed to control long-range attacks while looking for openings to land strikes. Wuka herself was a melee fighter who relied on destructive power. Wuka here assumed that Luo Feng's abilities would be powerless in the face of her attacks. And sure enough, with the opponent's brutal fighting style, it was difficult for Luo Feng to get time to prepare attacks. Her accurate judgment also made her dominate the direction of the fight. At that moment, Luo Feng realized that if the fight continued like this, then he would only continue to be suppressed by the power of the fire origin law possessed by Wuka. So that's why next Luo Feng would make a powerful attack that his opponent couldn't predict. Right after Luo Feng unleashed a long-range attack, he unleashed the second form of Yanshin's weapon, the sky-piercing sword, which was controlled with mental power and made it spin to be able to produce strong penetration. It became an attack that Wuka could no longer block, and boom! Even though it was only a star-level warrior, it could use the sky-piercing sword form with a new method, and it was extremely powerful. Only by deeply understanding the origin law of metal types could one do such a thing. Changbo was even more impressed with Luo Feng, who could do it. In the victory chart, Luo Feng should have lost, but now that it was even, it made AI Lord Wu feel astonished. Babata immediately hit the AI for relying too much on numbers to determine victory. Due to the difference of opinion, the two AIs even fought. At that time, Venerable Nine Swords asked Changbo, does he know the reason why the Manka clan can still survive at the top, even though there are not many of them? It's because when the Manka clan is in a cornered situation, the fighter genes in their body will be active. The more cornered, the stronger they will be. It's the same with what's happening now with Wuka, who has risen again and become more violent than ever. As long as she can still breathe, she must not fall, until she really manages to destroy everything. That was the sentence expressed by Wuka, who intended to continue her attack. Moving at high speed towards Luo Feng while unleashing attacks, Luo Feng could feel a different feeling from the previous fight. Wuka now seemed to be attacking without thinking. She was like a fighting machine that only relied on instinct to fight. Wuka's speed and strength had indeed increased so much that she could also create more attacks than before. However, when one is completely controlled by a savage fighting instinct, the ability to assess the situation is dulled at the same time. That was Wuka's current state, and Luo Feng would take advantage of the loopholes of his overly brutal opponent. Luo Feng here used the form of his illusory body to perform repeated attacks, hurting Wuka's body that was ignoring her defenses. And after the opponent was weakened, the two of them smashed each other's heavy attacks. Rongjun did not expect that even though Wuka had already received severe injuries, she could still unleash such terrifying power. In the end, the one who had to fall first in the clash of attacks just now was Wuka, who was already too badly injured, and Luo Feng managed to get the victory in the extra first-round duel. After both fighters returned to the lobby area, Wuka apologized for losing her mind a bit in the middle of the fight. It was a disrespectful act, in her opinion, but Luo Feng felt that fighting with instinct, Wuka even enjoyed more than her usual fight. Her reason for participating in the genius fight could probably be because she really craved an exciting fight. To Wuka, whether it was her clan or following her instincts, it would only lead to a fight in the end. So she couldn't tell which one to prioritize. After all, both were the same. Come to think of it, Luo Feng also felt that way too. But certainly next, he should not have fun first, because there was still Long Yun that he had to defeat before he could get the nomination to enter the primal secret realm. Proper preparation was needed to be able to achieve that victory. And that's what Luo Feng will do while ending this episode of SwallowedStar. Then will Luo Feng be able to face Long Yun? Well, let's just wait for the next episode, guys. Okay, thank you very much for watching until the end, and the final word from me, bye.